హాయ్ అండి, అందరికి నమస్కారం.
Hey.
Bharat, thanks for joining. And today it's a very pleasure to meet you and over the phone.
Yeah,
About
of course. Good to meet you.
so మన తెలుగు కమ్యూనిటీకి ఇట్లాగా ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సెక్షన్స్ లా స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం, ఏదైనా కమ్యూనిటీ ఎంపవర్ చేద్దామని స్టార్ట్ చేసాం ఈ ప్రోగ్రాము.
Sure.
And we're going to record this section.
Okay.
Just, if anybody has any questions, you can reach me. And I'm Bharat Pulgam, president of Telugu section of Minnesota. And Sai Pujari will be coordinating this event. And you can go ahead, Andy.
Cool. How would you like me to start? What do you want me to cover, go over?
So I want you to start from your journey, how you initially started and any struggles you have, and anything what makes you success, and as a company, how you find your successful partners and collaborating, and everything is a hurdle in the process of entrepreneurship. We just have some knowledge on that front.
Sure. Yeah. So I started my first business when I was 14 in high school. So I grew up in Plymouth, and I went to Wayzata High School. And my my first company was when I was 14. I was a freshman in high school, and I built a set of modular headphones. So basically, if the headphone broke, you could easily replace it with a different part, or if the right earbud broke, you could replace the right earbud, or if the left earbud broke, you could replace the left earbud. It was called Mixers Audio, and I started that a few years ago, and found my partners in high school through some classes. And we ended up building that business to 60 something $1,000 in sales per month online. And we actually, I had a small angel investor, a small team of 5 to 10 people. We had a small fulfillment center in Minnetonka. And we actually also almost went on Shark Tank, which was really cool. That was a cool opportunity. We didn't end up going on the show because Shark Tank, the show, takes equity, almost 10% equity if you go to the show, and we didn't want to give that up. But yeah, and then I went to the University of Minnesota. And when I started, I kept working on mixers. And at one point, we had a really cool operation where we actually had a team in China, 2 people in China that manufactured the product, and then they would ship it via container ship to the port of LA. And then from LA, it would go on box trucks to Amazon warehouses, and then you could actually buy the product on Amazon. So Amazon was one of our distributors. So that was a really cool supply chain configuration that we had. Yeah, so that was mixers. And then I went to school at the University of Minnesota. I went to the Carlson School of Management. That's where I met my co-founders for Buncha. My co-founders, Josh and Sam, we all met in the freshman year of university. During college, I started another company called Vitros Health. That was a company that was actually before the pandemic, but that company did at-home testing for upper respiratory illnesses. So this was before COVID. So I ended up closing that business before COVID, which I should have kept going because it would have been a good business. But we had some idea and some investment that came, and that was a cool project. Aside from these ventures, I actually also started 2 nonprofits. One in high school called Heart, helping every at-risk teen. That was for mental health awareness. And another one called Generation MN. That was to support young entrepreneurs, in high school and in college. So, between all these ventures, learned a lot. And my freshman year with Josh and Sam, my final kind of thing before Buncha was we started a small web design web design business to make some money on the side, while also taking classes. We just wanted to make some spending money. So we started a small web design business, and I learned how to code. So I learned how to, initially it was just HTML, but then I ended up, starting to learn how to build JavaScript applets and those kind of things. And then on the other side, my co-founder, Sam, he's a product person, so he was able to kind of design the website. And then Josh was, kind of running the sales process. So the three of us became really good buddies through that venture. And then my sophomore year of college, right before my sophomore year of college, we had the idea for a peer-to-peer, we call errand sharing. So on campus, no one has cars, right? No one has cars because they're all students. So only very few people have cars. So basically the idea was, hey, I'm going to Target. Hey, I'm going to Cub Foods. Does anyone need anything? And then you could notify a group of people if you needed anything from the store. And so we built an app for that. And we were able to get, a couple thousand people to start using the app very quickly. And Target actually invested in that company. And then myself, Josh and Sam, after our first year of college, we dropped out of school to pursue this venture full time. We raised close to $1 million in funding from different angel investors in the Twin Cities. And then we went to about 6 different college campuses. So we were in Nebraska, Iowa, St. Cloud, St. Thomas. So we were in various college campuses. And then unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the business, kind of collapsed because college campuses shut down, right? So we learned a hard lesson there in trying to build a business during the pandemic. So so I came back home. I was staying with my parents in Maple Grove, and my mom says, hey, Bharat, can you go to Costco, and grab some groceries for me? And this was during the pandemic, right? Everything is closed. And I tell my mom, I'm like, why not just use Instacart, right? I'll go, but why not just use Instacart? And she says, why am I feeding you, right? But in Telugu, of course. But she says, I don't need any of these groceries in 2 hours, right? Instacart's all 2-hour delivery, right? So she says, I don't need anything in 2 hours. So why should I pay the fees? Why should I pay to get it delivered in 2 hours? I don't want anything in 2 hours. So I thought that was really interesting because, all the grocery delivery services are 2-hour grocery delivery services. But what if people don't need the groceries in 2 hours? What if they can get it on Wednesday? Or what if they can get it on Sunday, right? So that was the inspiration for Buncha, which was, basically slow delivery, right? So slower delivery. And my test for this idea was basically creating in our neighborhood HOA group. I just posted and I was like, hey, I'm going to Costco on Wednesday. I'm Padmaja's son. I live on Zircon Lane. I'm going to Costco on Wednesday. If you need me to grab anything for you, let me know Sunday night, and I'll grab it for you on Wednesday. And you pay me $5. So that was all via Facebook group in the beginning. So they would text me their order: eggs, bread, milk, Kirkland drumsticks. They would text me their order, and then I'd go to Costco and pick it up. First week we were doing 4 or 5 orders a week, 4 or 5 orders. And I was driving my family's Toyota Camry, and then week 9 weeks later, I'm calling Josh and Sam for help because we have almost 40 orders that we have to deliver just in one neighborhood. So I'm driving a Honda Odyssey. Josh has his mom's Toyota Sequoia. Sam has a big truck. So we're just trying to get these orders done. And we were able to prove without any technology that people didn't need instant grocery delivery. They don't need things fast. They just want it affordably, right? So when we were doing it via just Facebook group and text message, we actually had we would just send them the list they ordered last week. We would say, hey, you ordered this last week. What do you want from this list? And what do you not want from this list? And just let us know. And then we would it became very easy for the customer to just, I want this because 70% of the things you buy at Costco are the same things, right? So you shouldn't have to reorder every time. So we built that kind of system. And we slowly grew the business. And yeah, so we slowly grew the business. And then today, Buncha is a platform that connects retailers with local merchants for affordable delivery. So unlike Instacart, unlike Shipt, where there's lots of fees, right? You get the delivery fee, the small order fee, and they're also marking up price, right? It's not the same price as in store. There's a markup on the price. So unlike Instacart, we don't do that. So you pay $1.45 and we'll deliver you the product. And the reason we're able to do that is because kind of like how Josh, Sam, and I did it, there's one truck. So one refrigerated truck goes to Costco. It picks up your order and all of your neighbors' orders at the same time, and it goes and delivers to everyone with one driver. So Instacart can only do 2 deliveries per driver. We can do 40 deliveries per driver. So that's what's kind of unique, is we're able to do more orders, more volume faster because we have so much density, right? You can log into the app. It's just a Buncha on the App Store, or even go online to our website, gobuncha.com. You put in your zip code, and then you'll see the schedule of what's coming to your neighborhood. So I'll show you. Gobuncha.com. So here. If you give me screen sharing, I'll show you. But you're able to log into the website with your zip code, and then it'll show you, what the yeah, here. So can you see my screen? So
yes.
So if you put in 55403, the page will refresh and it will actually show you what retailers are coming. So Hy-Vee is delivering tomorrow from 10:30 to 1. This Nibbana is a drink. Costco 3:30 to 6:30. Kowalski's 4 to 6. India Bazaar, for those of you that get Indian groceries, so 1 to 3 o'clock on Friday. So we work with these retailers to do these kind of deliveries, and then you can easily order, and we'll pick up your order and everyone around you's order at the same time. So yeah, so that's that. We are now close to 70 people. We have 40 people here in the Twin Cities, and we actually have a 30-person office in Delhi. So every 6 months I go to Delhi, or some city in India. So we India team's all remote. We raised about $5 million. And we are live in 2 markets, here, the Twin Cities and Denver. So that's the Buncha story.
So have you had any concern, like, okay, we are offering at $1.50, which is quite low compared to what these guys are charging, like charging $10 and more on every markup price. So have you had any thought in the mind while developing Buncha, okay, is this going to be feasible solution or not?
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So we know that so we make $1.45 from the customer, but the retailer might pay us 7 to 10% commission of the sale. So in $100 basket, the retailer might give us $7, right? And so between you and the retailer, we're making $9 almost per delivery. So yeah, I mean, what's unique about our business is that we've really made sure that our economics make sense on a per delivery basis. And we've really spent a lot of time with that. And one of the unique advantages that we have is that the schedule is very much planned in advance. So I know that in, Lakeville, Costco is going to be delivered by us in Lakeville on Tuesday from 4 to 6, right? So we can really make sure that we can go make sure there's enough orders so that the economics are good, right? For us, if we send a big truck out to a neighborhood and it's only 1 order, that's not worth our time. So we want to go get as much demand as possible to really make sure that the order economics make sense. And one of the things that we do is like, we won't launch a neighborhood unless we know we have customers there, right? Unless we know there's interest from stores to go there, unless we know that, we're able to deliver there, profitably. So it's kind of like a bus route, right? So the Metro Transit, they're not gonna put a bus route out to, North Oaks if no one's gonna use the bus. So it's very similar. So we have some really, really special software that is able to aggregate the orders and bundle the orders together. And also, one cool thing that we have is, let's say you are in, Plymouth, right? And, you join the Costco delivery, but we actually have, space for 5 more orders on the truck, right? So we'll notify everyone and say, hey, there's 5 more spaces on the truck. If you order now, you'll get 2% off, so we'll do things like that to try to get more demand from the customer. So yeah, I hope that makes some sense.
What are the initial investment and the mixer you start up with?
Yeah, so the initial investment, we actually didn't, I when I started Buncha, I was 21 or something. So we didn't have a lot of money. So we completely bootstrapped everything until we had enough traction to go raise some money from investors. So very early days, I was delivering, every day. So I would go deliver every day from 12 to 6, and then I would work from 6 to midnight, and then I'd wake up in the morning again, and that was my schedule. So very early on, that's how we did it. It's just, we did the deliveries until we had enough money to go hire people to go help us do the deliveries. So one cool thing here, this is actually our this is our vehicle in Denver. So just so you can see. So these are the types of vans that we have. They're all refrigerated vans, so they allow us to go really far for each delivery.
So how many cities you are in right now?
Just Minneapolis and Denver. So Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and then Denver.
What is the biggest hurdle you faced while getting, because you take to the angel investors and say, oh, okay, this is the idea. They should be ready to invest in you, right? With the idea.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is obviously fundraising is, getting money from investors. That's always very challenging because you have to convince them. But I think over the years I've been able to practice enough so that we've been able to do a good job. I actually think the biggest challenge is actually finding good team members, finding good business partners, and other than the co-founders, right? Myself, Josh, and Sam, finding really, really sharp professionals like for VP of operations or director of marketing. Those are really tough positions to hire for. So that's probably the biggest challenge that we've faced, is just hiring good talent. But we've been able to get some really awesome people from our investor network also. So our investors, they're all in the industry. So, we have if you're familiar with the Nextdoor app, the co-founder of that is one of our investors. And if you're familiar with Instacart, the 9th person at Instacart is one of our investors. Or if you're familiar with, Bonobos, it's like a clothing brand. They sold to Walmart. And then he became Andy, who was the CEO of Bonobos. When he went to Walmart, he became their SVP of commerce. And he actually reported to Mark Lohr, who sold Jet.com to Walmart for $1.2 billion or something. So we really made some strategic investor decisions, and they've really helped make the hiring process easier for us. So
somebody is starting up and thinking about being an entrepreneur, what is the advice you give it to them?
Yeah, so I think it's always important just to start small. So even with Buncha, right, we didn't set out with some big technology build, right? We didn't set out to go build this big app, or we didn't build a big software platform. Very early, it was just a Facebook group, and it was just doing the deliveries ourselves, right? So even so the way the Buncha app first was, right? It was this Facebook group. You would text me your order, and after you texted me your order, I would go pick the order, and then Josh, Sam, and I would sit until 12 o'clock at night, verifying the receipts. So we would make sure all the receipts were done properly, and then we would send you an Excel spreadsheet of your receipt for that week. And we did everything by hand. And then we would charge your card. We would ask you to Venmo us or PayPal us the amount for the grocery. So that's how scrappy the first version was. So definitely, like, I think people will be surprised by how little you need to get started on something. You don't need a big app. You don't need a fancy platform. You don't need a fancy thing. It really is very, very simple. So, I think keep it very simple and figure out what the real problem is for your customers, and then go build them a solution, right? So we almost spent 6 to 8 months in no tech phase before we actually built an app. And when we built the app, it was a really, really good, improvement over the existing process. So keep it very simple. Don't spend a bunch of money. Build what you can with the resources you have, and go from there. So that would be my kind of recommendation.
So you moved from Mixer to different, totally different field, and from the different field you came to Buncha. So how is the travel, and how you come up with these new thoughts?
Yeah, so Mixers, I actually ended up selling that business, and I think if once you have kind of the kind of entrepreneurship vision, or that kind of excitement, it's you can convert that to anything, right? So my dad, he always said, you don't need to go to Stanford, you need to hire people that went to Stanford, right? So that's kind of the mindset, is like, you don't need to be the top classer, right? But you need to be able to lead those people. So that's kind of the unique perspective, I think, is any industry, I think we could do a good job, because it's all about, as a CEO, you only really have 3 jobs. It's making sure you're hiring the right people, it's making sure your team is staying focused, and it's making sure you have money in the bank, right? It's just 3 jobs. So that's the most important thing. And those 3 things can be done in med tech, or healthcare, or financial technology, or any industry, right? So it's not very difficult to transfer those skills over.
So what is your strongest skill you think that makes you success?
I think it's probably patience, and this startups, it's very, very challenging, very difficult times come, right? You'll have to fire your friends and hire some people and negotiate big terms, and sometimes it's very difficult because you're almost out of money, and you might have to shut down the business. So patience, humility. There's no intelligence. You don't have to be smart to, you don't have to be Albert Einstein to build a good business. You just have to be a good person. And I think entrepreneurship is a very awesome way to leave a good impact, to leave a positive impact. I think it's the best way to leave an impact, because it's purely just your effort and how far you can go. It is, startups are the only way that you can, it's pure execution. So if you do a good job executing, your startup will grow and it'll impact thousands of people. And if you don't, then you don't, right? So I think that's kind of, one thought. So
what is the hardest decision in your entrepreneurship journey you made? Any hardest decision you think, okay, this is okay, it's like takes so much time and so much thinking on?
Yeah, I think we had to, when the pandemic happened, we had to downsize the company. So we had to fire some friends and coworkers, and that was very difficult. These people were people that we built the business with, and I actually had to let go of one of my co-founders and he was a really good friend of mine. So those kind of things, those kind of things happen. But at the end of the day, my responsibility is to our shareholders and to the company and to our customers. And, sometimes we have to make tough decisions to do that. So I always tell my team that it's my responsibility is to you, my responsibility is to our team, my customers. And it's sometimes you have to put the personal feelings aside and make difficult decisions. So. Yeah.
Definitely appreciate it. So I'll try to give it to our participants. Anybody has any questions, you can unmute and ask the questions.
Bharat, Sai here. I see a question in chat that do you want to add anything apart from the groceries, which was asked by Krishna Chaitanya?
Yeah, for sure. Krishna, thanks for the question. Yeah, we're actually thinking about adding other types of products. So right now you can add groceries from our app, but we've thought about adding other products like hardware or like Lowe's, Home Depot, other categories where you don't need the delivery within 2 hours. We've really thought about that. We deliver liquor. We've thought about adding bakery, home essentials. I think most Americans don't need things delivered in 2 hours. So I think over time, definitely more products will become available for that we can deliver. So. Wonder if you have a tech product, not IT. What are some local TAMs and resources local teams and resources one can look into? If you are interested in building an app, there are several resources like bubble.io, and I think the other one is called Glide app. Both of those are great platforms to build a no code. You don't have to code anything. It's all based off of a spreadsheet. And then they have an intuitive UI that you can, drag and drop to build the app yourself versus, hiring a dev team or something. So that's one. If you're interested in startups in general, there's Twin Cities Startup Week that is every September. And then there's Beta MN is another resource, and then Forge North is another resource. So those three are really great for if you were interested in startup resources. So, of course, any other questions?
So you might be hearing about AI right now. So you are planning to embed anything into your products, or what is your thoughts on that?
I'll give you a sneak peek. Hold on. We are, and this is the thing that we're deploying. I'll show you. So we have we just built this new tool. Can you 1 second? Hold on, where is this video? Here we go. I'm gonna share my screen. I think it's working. Yeah, here. So I don't think you can hear the audio, but the input is build me a shopping cart for Mexican dinner for 8 people. 2 of them are vegetarians, and then the GPT spits out a result with the menu options. And then what's pretty cool is that you can say, oh, I don't want enchiladas, I want tamales or something. But then what our app does is it'll build a cart with the ingredients. So if once the customer presses yes, the ingredients are pre-selected for each of the recipes. So this is something that we're working on right now. to enable easier shopping cart planning. So
It looks pretty cool. I'm actually one of your loyal customer. I've been ordering from you guys for a long time. By the way.
oh, very cool, very cool. Where are you in Minneapolis?
In Plymouth.
In Plymouth. Okay, cool. Yeah, Plymouth is a hotspot for us. So I'm sure you got the Costco and the Target and the okay, sure, India Bazaar. So since it's not a 2-hour delivery, how did you plan for inventory availability at the store? We actually have some predictive analytics around inventory and stocking speed. So we're able to suggest to customers, hey, this is out of stock, this will be in stock, those kind of things, which is great. So that's how we plan for inventory availability on the store level. And the other thing is we'll try to schedule the deliveries so that they're hitting the store during the best inventory days. So if we know Costco is stocking on Wednesday at 8 a.m., we'll try to deliver by 2 p.m. if that makes sense. So Huddy says it costs more than $1.05 for shipping. Your service has been pretty good and the shopping bags are looking good too. Is it a marketing strategy to spend them? What are some metrics? Yeah, so the bags are actually really cheap for us. We get them from China. But the cool thing is it's a marketing tactic. So, we're hoping that people will take the bags and take them around town and, people will recognize the yellow bags. And, I actually, the other day I was walking in downtown and I saw 2-3 people with our bags, which was really cool. So it's definitely a marketing strategy for us. And it's also part of the sustainability pitch that we have is, we're helping make sure that we're reducing plastic bag usage by using these reusable freezer bags. So hope that helps. Any other questions?
So you mentioned retaining the talent is the hardest part. How you are, making sure that your top talent be with you and go along and maintaining the company culture.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it's really important that we're always recruiting. So we're always trying to find people. We're always keeping jobs open, just to make sure that we have the best pipeline. We always try to do as much networking as possible so that we're in front of the right candidates. And then, once people join, we have a pretty great culture at the office. Our office is in Loring Park. So next time, if you're coming from 394 and going into the Laurie Hill Tunnel towards St. Paul, and you look to your left side, you'll see the Buncha sign, the yellow Buncha sign on our building, actually. But we have a nice office, and people are. We try to make sure that people feel welcome and are doing a good job. So I'll see if I can find a picture of our office. So this is our. I'm looking through our photo album, but this is our team in Delhi. This is our Delhi office, and then this is our Delhi office, and then let me see if I can find a picture of our office. If I can see. Let's see here. I have to open a different app. Here we go. Here's another. That's actually, that picture I shared was a little bit older. So here's my this is my team in India. So this time Sam and Josh are my co-founders. So those guys came this time. And then let's see. This is this is our office here. So this one. So you'll see the sign. We have this entire second floor, so we have probably 8,000 some square feet. So this is our kind of back meeting room, and this is kind of our office. So I'm seeing if there's any other pictures that are cool. Yeah. so yeah, that's our little operation.
So what would be your advice to someone who is starting as an entrepreneur, that some common mistakes that they can avoid?
Yeah, I think don't overspend on your MVP, right? Just get started in a very small way. You know, if your idea is I don't know, if you have some idea, right? Like for us, right? The idea was grocery delivery, so we just delivered it ourselves, right? So don't start very small. Don't overbuild, right? Keep it because usually your hypothesis is wrong, and your customers will tell you something different. So always learning, always improving, is critical. So, best way to reach me. I see there's a question in the chat. This is my email. Bharat@gobuncha.com. Feel free to send. Oh, I sent that as a direct message. This is my email here, so feel free to reach out anytime. And then this is our gobuncha.com. That's our website. So you can download our app, try us out. $1.45 per delivery. Yeah, and then can you share any tools you use for PR, marketing, and web presence? Yeah, we do some good Facebook ads, and then our website is built on an app called Webflow. But actually, the best marketing we do is door-to-door sales. So we actually have a door-to-door salesman that will go into a neighborhood and knock on the door and say, "Hey, Costco is coming next Tuesday. Do you want us to deliver to you? Give us your phone numbers." So I think we're in a very high tech world, but sometimes the lowest tech things are the best marketing channels. So keep that in mind. Door hangers, flyers, mailers, those things still work very well. So.
So what do you believe the innovation plays in the business growth?
Say that again.
What role do you believe innovation plays in driving the business growth?
Sorry, I lost you. I'll say that one more time. Sorry.
Do you think this kind of AI innovation will,
I can't hear you at all. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, these kind of AI innovations, you think
Yeah.
will be helpful for business growth and expansion into different cities coming up?
Yeah, I think this AI stuff is going to help us make it easier for customers to order. But I think overall, I think what I'm seeing is AI is a good tool to assist a human, not replace a human, right? So that's at least what I've been noticing is we can use this tool to help better route, better as an assistant to our dispatchers or shoppers. So that's kind of how we think about it.
So out of all, how you're managing the work-life balance?
I think that's a myth. Work-life balance is kind of it's kind of a overstated thing. I think you need both, right? It's not work-life balance, it's your work and your life. Don't try to mix them. So I actually with our company, we really try to avoid any work outside of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's kind of when we are our business hours, and after that we try not to bother each other. It's just a good cultural thing because we don't want people to be burnt out. So I try to stick to that, and I take Friday evenings and Saturday off, and then I'll work again on Sunday. So. But for me, it's not work, man. It's something I'm very passionate on. I might work 40 hours in a 50 hours in a week, but I'm always thinking about Buncha. I'm always thinking about interesting things or interesting ideas or how to, do X, Y, Z. So it's not really about work-life balance, but it's, making sure that I'm taking time to recharge and spend time with family when I need to, and, work hard when I need to. So.
Bharat, one question. So while you were doing on the Facebook, So there is a time period where you need to transfer to tech, right? So how much time does it take, or did it take, and what was the layover time where you need to manage both non-tech as well as tech to come up?
It's not, yeah, it's not like that, right? So it's like it's agile, right? It's not like waterfall. So you're not building one big project over the course of several months, right? It's all iterative. So maybe first it's the Facebook group, and then after the Facebook group, we say, hey, order through this this Google form, but then send us the payment on PayPal. And then maybe it's, hey, order through this Google form, and we've integrated a payment button on the Google form. And then we say, hey, here's a website, where you can pay and see the available deliveries, and you can also order from the same website, right? So it's not like there's like one big jump. It's iterative. You learn one thing, you learn one thing, you learn one thing, and you build it from there, right? So initially we thought that, an app is really important because customers want to see all the options. But what we didn't realize is almost 60% of orders are going to the same stores. So they actually don't care about the options. What they care about is the ability to reorder the same items over and over again. So if we had built an app that was just showing options, we would have built the wrong thing, right? We would have wasted a lot of money. So it's really, really important to experiment very, very small, very, very fast, so you learn more and more things, right? I mean it when I say it, but most of the times your initial assumptions are wrong. Your initial thoughts are wrong, and you need to think about how do you run an experiment to get the most amount of data from your customer as possible, right? Hari says, please share one book you always have in mind or used in your business. I have two books. I'm looking at my bookshelf. These are some good books here. So this book, and this book, and this book. These are my my 5 favorite books. So this is a great book. It's called Blitz Scaling. It's about how to scale a business very, very fast. It's written by Reid Hoffman. This is a really good one. So this is about scaling your business. This book is about how to be a CEO, very tactical. So how do you run board meetings? How do you fundraise? How do you talk to investors? How do you go pitch? How do you go hire people? This book is very interesting. So if you have a marketplace, which is what we have, right? So we have drivers, we have customers, and we have retailers. Typically, one of the issues with marketplaces is that one of these things you need to start before it automatically starts flowing, right? So if I didn't have any drivers, how could I deliver the orders from the customer, from the retailer to the customer, right? So I have to hire the drivers. Or if I didn't have the retailer, how do I deliver the orders? Where do I deliver the orders from? So, in the early days, we didn't have any retail partnerships. We just went and, shopped in the store like any regular customer. So this book is about marketplace dynamics. It's a good book. It's by Andrew Chen. This guy is a very prominent Silicon Valley investor. So that's another one. I really like this book. This is about mental health. This book is about mental health. This guy's actually one of our investors, Andy Dunn. This is the Bonobos guy. He's actually half Indian, which is kind of cool. So I actually met his mother. She's Indian in Chicago. But this book is really interesting because it kind of speaks about the mental health challenges that startup founders face that most people don't talk about. And it's a very vulnerable and transparent book. So I really like this one. It's a really, really good story. And then this one is kind of my favorite. He's one of my idols, Bob Iger. He was the CEO of Disney for 15 years, and he oversaw Disney's acquisition of Marvel, Pixar, and several other companies, and Disney Plus. Very, very good book on business strategy, setting up for, success, interpersonal issues. So those are my top 5 books, if you will. So.
What was the team size at then, and what was the team size at as of today, Bharat?
Yeah, we're at 70 people today, and we started with 3. So
It is for How many years?
It's been 3 years.
Oh,
Been 3 years.
So what motivates you, and do you have any motivational figure you think of when you are down?
What motivates me is my family. And you know, I think my parents, they're my motivation, and my brother. You know, I don't have a, you know, Elon Musk or something. And I don't find that to be a genuine answer. For me, it's all about, you know, my dad, he grew up in, you know, India, and so he says, you know, if I came from India and if I grew up in India and brought you here, you're brought up here, where are you going to take us? You know, so he's always been a really, my mom and my dad both have always been a great support. Yeah, that's my motivation and support, I would say. So also, I think having a good, you know, level of patience, humility is really important in this business. And you know, I think there's a lot of bad business people out there. So for me, it's not about making money, or, you know, if you want to go make a lot of money, go be a doctor or a lawyer or something. This is there's much easier ways to make more money than starting a company. It's a very difficult endeavor. So, but if you want to learn, if you want to build something very cool, if you want to change the world, you know, this is how you do it. So.
Yeah, it's a great session, Bharat. This is Ram Kutala. I have a quick question for you. For example, you had a like very bad day, right? How are you going to deal with that? For example, you need to run the company and you need to address a board meeting, but you really had a bad day. And how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah. I think, you know, having mechanisms to cope is really important. So, you know, I like exercise, I like running, you know, I like cooking, something to look forward to. The business will always be bad. If it wasn't bad, then you're not doing your job, right? You'll always, if you as a CEO are ever happy with the performance of a business, you're not being aggressive enough. So, you know, it has its ups and downs, but I think, you know, having additional extracurriculars that you're also seeing improvement in are really important. So whether it's fitness or, you know, cooking, or, you know, some other hobby, you know, I actually recently have, not recently, I've been, you know, one of my pleasures or my peaceful things is to play the harmonium. I really like playing the harmonium. So that's like one instrument I play. And, you know, I do that sometimes when I'm feeling very stressed out. So the unfortunate thing is that you as a CEO, whatever your mood is, the team has that mood. So if you're frustrated, the team is frustrated. They don't even know why they're frustrated, but they're frustrated, you know? So however you act, whatever you say yes to, whatever you say no to, that is what will propagate throughout the team. So it's really important that you set the standard for the culture. You know, if I had a bad day and I'm yelling and shouting and, you know, screaming at my team, the same thing will happen, you know, if they're having a bad day, right? But instead, it's better to be together. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents, Ron. Thanks for your question.
Excellent. I have one more question.
Please.
So you mentioned that, like, you know, as a CEO, and finding the right talent is like one of the skill, right? So what is your approach? How do you find the right talent?
Yeah, it's networking, man. I mean, doing networking for, you know, 4 or 5 years, and you'll start to make the connections, and using your existing network. That's how you really do it. So there's no secret science, you know, there's no recruiter that will help. It's really, you have to find the people in your own network and in your network of your friends to, you know, get the right people. So, and sometimes the right person isn't the right person today, right? You need to hire for high achievers, not necessarily high achieved, right? So you hire for someone's slope, not their y-intercept, right? You want to hire for really, really hungry people, not people that are already kind of bottomed out. So that's kind of how I think about, you know, the hiring process.
So what are the skills you see when hiring?
I'm actually looking less at skills. I'm looking more for cultural fit. You know, I think I'm looking for people that are hungry, that are, you know, willing to go pitch an investor, but also go do deliveries if we need it, right? Go talk to customers, go be customer support. no ego, complete humility, no ego, and as a team player. I think this business is very demanding, and you need to have an open mind to any suggestions and any thoughts, any concerns, and just being able to roll up your sleeves and fix those problems. So the skills will come, right? The skills you can learn, the skills you can do, but it's a mindset that you can't teach mindset. So that's what I look for.
So, any expansion plans for Buncha right now?
Yeah. So we're looking at like Atlanta, Salt Lake City, Indianapolis, Detroit, Chicago, Austin, Seattle. We're in Denver, but definitely some more room to grow between those cities alone. So
did any of your competitors approach you for a buyout?
actually, I can't say who, but we did that actually happened very recently, and we have not engaged. So we think that we can be a very big player in the space very quickly. Cool. Awesome. Well, if
One
anyone
last
has,
question, Bharat.
yeah, please.
How did you
Please.
engage the customers who are being in Facebook, then on Google Forms, then onto app or website, whatever you have given? Because that would be a different journey for them, right? Because when whoever is ordering via Facebook, they might be having only Facebook. They might not be having Google Forms, something like that. So how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, you lose some customers here and there, but at the end of the day, if you have a great customer service, the customers will stay, right? So these people, early customers or early adopters, it's really important you make them feel like they're part of the journey and they're part of the story of Buncha. And so, to this day, I know all of our top 100 customers by name. I know exactly where they live. They know me by name. They've talked to me. I've definitely been to our top 20 customers' homes personally, and I've gotten feedback from them. So, if you provide a great customer experience, people will remember and people will stay and people will forgive if you make any mistakes. So,
Good, thank you.
great.
So anybody else? Any other questions? Thanks, Bharat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Really appreciate, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Really.
Anytime, and if I can be at all of any help to any of you, my email's in the chat. Please feel free to send me a message, and best wishes everyone, and hope you have a great summer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best for Buncha. Yeah.
Thank you.
All the
Have a good
best,
night.
Bharat.
Thank you. Bye-bye.